Sato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness unto light, lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Namaste everybody. I offer my pranams to revered Swami Sarvapriyananda Ji Maharaj. He was very affectionate. He was here 10 years ago when I passed through Singapore briefly, and he arranged very kindly to show me around in Singapore. But that time I stayed only for 2 or 3 days, I think. Pranams and namaskars to other revered monks present here. Namaste to all of you. Now when I chant that Asato ma sadgamaya, it sort of encapsulates all of Vedanta. What exactly are we trying to do here? We are trying to realize the real, go from the unreal to the real, which already assumes so much. That means what we are experiencing now is in some sense not quite real. We are experiencing it, and we call this our reality. But in some sense, the claim is made that there is a deeper reality, there's a greater reality, and we have to move from this reality to that reality. And move not physically, not fly from one place to another place. Move not temporally from one time to another time, not now, then. Move not even in object, not this one, that one. Not world, God, not even there. It is move in our realization. Whatever is here, right now, by investigating this, our experience of our lives right now. I was talking to one of the Swamijis just now, that how Advaita is about our lived reality, not about something you believe in, not even about some extraordinary mystical experiences, but our reality here and now. By investigating what is here and now, we will discover that reality, which we will proceed to do today. I remember one of the leading academicians, postmodernists, Professor Gayatri Chakravarti Spivak. She is called, somebody called her the queen of the postmodernists. She is in New York, emeritus professor at Columbia. And she said to me once, typical challenge thrown by a modern materialist critical approach today. You are not allowed to speak of anything beyond Maharaj. Whatever is here, is here. Ja ache ekhane ache, in Bengali she said to me. So that's how a materialist would confront somebody believing in religion. Don't talk to me about heaven. No, there is a God. Don't talk to me about God. What you are allowed to talk about is only this, here, right now. Can you tell me a religion that way? So that's the challenge. And Advaita is absolutely happy to take up the challenge. Advaita says, yes, of course, here, now. But what is this here and now? Why stop at matter? Why stop at flesh and blood? It's a very good guide in Advaita Vedanta to hold on to our experience of here and now, reality. The point, I'll tell you, it sounds very radical because Advaita says very radical things, makes enormous claims. But I am telling you with conviction, at no point are we taking leave of experience. The moment you feel Advaita is telling you something which is theoretical, not experiential, you have somehow missed the bus. Retrace your steps, go back to the last place where it felt real, and then slowly work your way forward again. Going from the unreal to the real, by investigating this experience itself. How do we do that? What is the method? The next one, from darkness to light. The way I interpret it is, from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge. So by knowledge, by jnana. And what is the result of all of this? What's the point of it all, this exercise? From death to immortality. There is this greatest utility of it all. So, Swami, at one time I was reading Pragmatism, William James, an American psychologist, friend of Swami Vivekananda. So they call it the cash value philosophy. What good does it do to me now? So I asked one of our acharyas, it is Vedanta, what good does it do to me now? So he answered in Swami Vivekananda's words, two answers. One answer, first of all, why should it have any utility? The child thinks a lollipop has the greatest utility. At that time, the latest technology in the world was electricity. So the child thinks, what use is electricity? We will not say such things today, you see. But why should it have utility? First of all, if it is true, it has value in itself. Truth has value, because it is true. So Advaita is important because it's true. And then, second answer, having said that, it has the greatest of utilities. After all, what are we trying to do? What are we trying to get in all our endeavors throughout life? We are trying to get satisfaction, happiness, fulfillment. We are trying to overcome suffering, discomfort, anxiety, this unsatisfactory state of affairs. When Bhagavan Buddha said all of his Buddhism begins with the first noble truth, Sarvam Dukkham. And we say, no, that's too much. There is happiness and there is sorrow also. He says, no, he's uncompromising on that. What you think is happiness is also undergirded by, underlaid by sorrow. There is sorrow before your so-called happiness. There is sorrow after your so-called happiness. And underlying your so-called happiness is the possibility of sorrow. Sarvam Dukkham. We are trying to overcome that. All our effort, you see, not just human beings, all sentient beings, all their efforts are aimed at overcoming. When I say dukkha, sorrow, somebody pointed out to me, Swami, most people are not in dukkha, sorrow. Maybe in other parts of the world, Singapore, more or less people are fine. So we are not in dukkha here. But yes, if you say, Swami, if you say dissatisfied, it's not completely satisfactory. In that case, you are right. That there is all-pervasive dissatisfaction. And how to overcome that? That's our struggle. Anything that helps us to overcome my dissatisfaction, anything that gives me satisfaction, anything that gives me fulfillment, I say that has utility. And this knowledge has the greatest utility because the goal, the promise of this knowledge, this Advaitic knowledge, it says it will take you beyond sorrow forever, and it will give you ultimate bliss, meaning, fulfillment in life. Atyantika dukkha nivritti, complete cessation, transcendence of sorrow, and deep fulfillment in life, bliss, ananda prapti. Now that's a very big promise, huge promise. So it has the greatest utility. Mrityu amritam gamaya. From death, you take us to immortality. So you see, asatoma sadgamaya, tamasoma jyotirgamaya, mrityuma amritam gamaya. It is just, what are we trying to do? How are we going to do it? And what is the result of it? I think all of Advaita is contained in that prayer. We can stop here probably, it's done. That was the talk. No. Lifetime after lifetime, we have been struggling to overcome suffering and attain fulfillment. And in many, many ways we try to do that. We try to do that by toys when we are kids, by nice food and drink, by money and achievement and fame. We try to do that with education. In so many ways, and Facebook likes. In so many ways we try to attain fulfillment. And over time we realize we are failing, that it's not working. Is it at all possible? At this point there's a clear division. Most people, there are many people who will tell you, including philosophers, very intelligent thinkers, they'll tell you nothing more is possible. This is the best, make the best of it as you can, improve the quality of your life, try to be healthy, try to enjoy life what you get, and now there is positive psychology and many other things which will make your life a little better. But yes, we can't prevent old age, disease, death. We can make it better. We can treat you. When doctor said, Swami, we can, with modern medical technology and knowledge, we can ensure you will live long, but we cannot ensure you will live well. So, suffering will be there. The other group says that something more is possible. It is indeed possible to overcome suffering. It is indeed possible to attain peace and fulfillment. Who is this other group? All the religions of the world. All religions say that there is a deep solution to the problem of life. To this question we are posing, can one be deeply fulfilled? Yes. The answer is this. If you at this point you ask, what is the proof? The proof is very simple. The lives of those whom we consider saintly, enlightened, spiritual, in any tradition, notice one thing about them. They are deeply fulfilled people. Revered Ranganathanji Maharaj, Partha Maharaj is here, so many years he was with Revered Swamiji. He would often say that the grumbling and spiritual life do not go together. This grumbling. If you are highly spiritual, congratulations. Many people say, I have had this vision, I know this, I have realized that. Congratulations. Then one thing you cannot do is complain. You have to give up complaining and grumbling, which means a truly spiritual person has attained fulfillment. In spite of, in the midst of all difficulties. Life as it is continues. Old age will come, disease will come, death will come. What is it that they have got? What is it that they have realized which enables them to be so peaceful, so strong, so upright in the midst of so many troubles? We want that. So religion promises that. How does it start? It starts with, first of all, this idea. It is possible to overcome suffering. It is possible to have a meaningful, fulfilled life. Those who accept this view, then the next step will be, I will do something about it. I will do something about it. The Bhagavan Buddha called it Samyak Drishti and then Samyak Sankalpa. It's not enough to just have the right philosophy, right view. There's a view, there's a philosophy. Now, I will try to attain God realization, moksha, nirvana, brahmajnana, whatever you call it. So that's sankalpa. Now that is the state, that is where we begin, because all of us here are more or less at that level. If we have some inkling, at the minimum, those who are here, at the minimum that it is possible to be spiritual. Spirituality is real. It's not theoretical, not a blind belief, not something old and obsolete. It is possible. Second, I need to do something about it. So this is the minimum. Many are here who have gone far ahead, but this is the minimum. Then what do we need to do? Then comes what Americans call cleaning up your act. So the basis for all spirituality is a moral life. It's an ethical life. So to the best of our ability, we begin the struggle to be moral, to be truthful. Very important. Sri Ramakrishna gave greatest importance on this one quality, one virtue. All other things will come when truth is there. All other things slowly melt away. Good things will melt away if truth is let go of. So truth, and self-control. Then unselfishness, a kind of expansion beyond the limits of one's own I, me, mine. So these basic moral development, without this, no spirituality. One can be good without God, without being spiritual. But one cannot be spiritual without being good. One person in one church in America had seen, they said, no, you cannot be good without God also. To be good, you need God. That's a very important point actually. So they had put in front of the church a big board. Good minus God is equal to 0. It's like G-O-O-D minus G-O-D. What is left? Only O. Good minus God is equal to 0. If you knock religion out of the scheme, we will be good people. After all, nobody can say we don't want to be good. Everybody has to say. Atheist also has to say we want to be good people. We don't want that God. And in that church, the father wrote, if you leave God out of it, if you leave spirituality out of it, even being good is difficult. First of all, moral life, dharmic life. Next, one goes on to the level of our actions. Instead of just moral action, but still selfish. One can be moral and be selfish. I don't do anything wrong. I pay my taxes. I go by the law. but I'm all about I, me, myself. So one expands beyond that, from karma to karma yoga, unselfish action. Then, not just action, at the level our inner life has to change. So there, the importance of devotion comes in, bhakti. So there is temple, there is a deity, there are multiple bhakti traditions within Hinduism itself. Some place where I can channel my emotions. I am going to speak about Advaita, but all this is essential to build up to Advaita. So I need to focus my emotions. Right now the emotions are running to the world. They will create havoc later on if they have not been sublimated and I jump straight to Tat Tvam Asi. So these emotions, this love, this desire for the world now is channelized into bhakti, is sublimated. The channels, the flow is turned towards God. And one more practice then of meditation. Because what we will deal with deals with the mind particularly. The mind needs to be trained. We are not aware. Unfortunately, our modern world does not train us to control the mind. The training of the mind is not part of the curriculum. We are not aware of how shaky, how restless our minds are. So, meditation. So we might be thinking, where am I going with all this? The Vedas themselves have a structure. Karma, upasana, dhyana. So the karma portion, it must be dharmic, that is ethical karma. Also, it must be selfless. So not only dharmic karma, also karma yoga, selfless karma. So some practice of karma yoga in our lives. Then upasana. Upasana means meditation. So I take mantra diksha, the guru tells me this is your Ishta Devata, this is how I meditate on the Ishta Devata. I have a mantra, a particular practice. It may be very different in different sects of Hinduism, different forms. But some kind, at the broadest minimum I will say, some kind of mind training is necessary. We skip it at our own peril. When this is done, or this is going on, now we come to the crux of the matter. Now what I am saying is classical Advaita Vedanta, alright? So, moral foundation, ethics, dharma, karma yoga, upasana. Then we are introduced to this, the core of the Vedas, the Vedanta, the core teaching of the Upanishads. This vast literature luckily can be summarized in short sentence. As Xavier Maharaj was saying, there are these short sentences. They're called Mahavakyas. In one short sentence, the entirety of the teaching can be summarized. And most famous is, of course, Tat Tvam Asi. You are that. This is what Shvetaketu, his father, taught him in the Chandogya Upanishad. So Shvetaketu's father teaches him. When Shvetaketu comes back from school, National University, and he's very proud. I have got the latest knowledge. My old man, what does he know? The father sees that this boy has become arrogant. So he asks, in your school, have they taught you that by knowing which everything is known? And Shvetaketu thinks, what kind of knowledge is that? By knowing biology, I know all about living things. By knowing chemistry, I know about chemicals. By knowing physics, I know about the ultimate particles of the universe. But what is that one branch of knowledge by knowing which everything is known? How can that be possible? And Shvetaketu's father tells him, it is possible. Just as by knowing clay, one knows all the pots made of clay. What do you know about the pots made of clay when you know clay? Know clay means you know that it is clay. You will know whatever the pots are made, whatever name, shape, form is given. That I don't know. But I can tell you one thing, it will be clay. It will be clay. By knowing iron, you know all the implements made of iron. Actually, in the Upanishad itself, they talk about nail cutters. So they had nail cutters in those days. So, all implements made of iron, I know. What do I know? I don't know what kind of things people in the future will make out of iron. But I know they are iron only, nothing else. By knowing gold, one knows all the ornaments made of gold. What do I know? I don't know what kind of beautiful ornaments Tiffany's will make or whatever. But I know they are all nothing but gold. Similarly, there is one thing. If you know that, you will know everything in this universe. So what is that one thing, the material cause out of this, material out of this entire universe is made. That material, if you know, you will know everything. Now Shvetaketu's curiosity is aroused. What is that? What's that? And his father says, there was one reality, call it Sat, out of which this entire universe has emerged. And so if you know that Sat, you will know everything in this universe. In what sense? Not that you will become an encyclopedia. I read recently that Elon Musk is a hero in USA. When he was a kid, he actually read the entire Encyclopedia Britannica. So it's not just Swami Vivekananda who read it. It is possible. Now, it's not that you will become an encyclopedia. If you know that Sat, that one being, that one existence out of which this entire universe has come, you will know everything is that Sat only. That's what you will know. Alright, Shvetaketu is curious. What is that Sat? And here is the bombshell. It is the dramatic statement which has resounded down centuries and millennia and it becomes the topic of our talk here in Singapore in the 21st century. His father says, wait for it, what is that ultimate truth, the Sat by knowing which I can know everything? Tat Tvam Asi. O Shvetaketu, you are that Sat. If you know yourself, what you truly are, which we will teach you, if you know that, you know everything in the universe, everything that has to be known, and you go beyond sorrow. Swami Vivekananda, when Maharaj mentioned all the illustrious Swamis who passed through Singapore, but the first one was Vivekananda. He came here. Swami Vivekananda in the West, he would often introduce Vedanta as that Tameva viditva ati mrityumeti. Vedaham purusham mahantam. I know this infinite reality. By knowing this reality, one goes beyond sorrow. What is that reality? It's that Sat, by knowing oneself, one's real nature. So that is the meaning of Tat Tvam Asi. Tat Tvam Asi means you are that ultimate reality by knowing which you know everything in this universe, and the result of such knowledge will be to take you beyond suffering and to give you ultimate fulfillment. Very grand theme. And it's not that this thing is not there in other religions. This is the highest truth, but it's found in just about every religion of the world. But I dare say it's in Advaita Vedanta that it is mainstream and clearly, logically presented, and the steps so precisely, so luminously defined that you can follow it. We will now enter into it. I will require you to walk with me, metaphorically, as we go on a journey. Where is this journey? Not a boring journey. It's a very interesting journey because it's a journey into yourself. Your favorite subject is you. Our favorite subject is I, me, myself. So that's why Vedanta, I always say Vedanta is very interesting because it's about you. It's not about anything else in the world. It's about you. So in this journey, we'll need to walk together. Always remember the preliminaries. The preliminaries, karma, moral life, selfless karma, and devotion and meditation. These are assumed. To some extent we have them, and it's not that you have to finish them and then come to Vedanta. They should go together. I'm just emphasizing the importance of the other spiritual practices. So, Tat Tvam Asi, you are that. How do we find out, how do I realize that? Vedanta says, just examine your experience. Which experience? Your experience, our experience of ourselves. What we are, right now, as we are. The Upanishad says, Yo Veda Nihitam Guhayam Parame Vyoman. The one who realizes Brahman in the sacred space of the heart. That means sacred space of the heart is a poetic way of saying yourself. Buddhi Guhayam, in your own intellect, in your own understanding, in yourself. Question is posed to you. When Vedanta says, you are that, you are Brahman, Tat Tvam Asi. Here, Tat means that Sat, that ultimate reality. What Sat? What ultimate reality? Which Shvetaketu's father introduced him. There was one reality from which the universe has emerged. You are that reality. Then we should start there. Vedanta tells me I am some kind of ultimate reality, Sat. But I don't feel that. That doesn't seem to be real to me. Then Vedanta says, all right, what seems real to you? What do you think you are? What do you feel at this moment you are? Look at your own experience. Point to yourself. You will see what we are. And immediately we say, here, I am here, this body, this person. Now carefully listen to the teachings. The teachings are to be understood at two levels. One level is, they are like arguments. They're designed to persuade you. They're not logical proofs, not mathematical proofs, but like lawyers' arguments, designed to persuade a jury. A battery of arguments will be given to us, and we have to understand what is being said, but more importantly, at the second level, is to note that it's a fact. Let's see for yourself, yes, not only it's convincing, it's also true. It's something that I never considered earlier, but now I'm considering. Now that you tell me, there's some truth to it. So, who are you? Point to yourself. Here I am, Swami. Here is this body. So, are you the body? I think so. It's a good place to start. We all start with this body. Whatever we say, whatever our theories are, we basically think of ourselves and behave like bodies. The body is a very central fact. Consider this. Examine this. This body, we know it is a baby, it was born, it was a baby, it was a little child, it was a teenager, a young person, a middle-aged person, now maybe an old person's body. Changed dramatically over the years and decades. And yet I feel I am the same one. I am the same one. Same person, the same entity, same sentient being. I am the same person, same one, in a dramatically changing body. Body is not at all same. I am the same. Then how can I say I am the body? Same, not same. Can they be the same? Changing very fast and unchanging. Can they be the same? It's like somebody is running around. You catch hold of it. I don't run. He runs. Can we stay together? No. Either he will drag me along or I will start running with him. Or I have to let go of that person. If something is changing and something is not changing, the two cannot be the same, literally. Changing and not changing, you cannot be the body. Alright, let's look at it even more closely. The body is an object. I am aware of the body. The body is an object. In what sense? Like this is an object. Look at this. You can see this in my hand. You can touch it. You can also taste it. You can hear it also. You can hear the sound. You can see it, smell it, touch it, taste it, hear it. All five senses operate on it. It's an object. But equally so is the body. The body is an object. You can see it. You can touch it. You can hear the rumblings in your tummy. You can taste it, smell it also. All five senses objectify our own bodies. It's an object without any doubt. It's a thing. A very sophisticated thing, a biological machine, a wonder, but still a thing. A doctor in Scotland wrote to me, I still remember, I often quote him, suddenly an email, that Swami, I have been examining scans of the human body for decades now, for 20, 30 years now. Suddenly it struck me, just now, an epiphany, an awakening, that this is a thing. Where am I in all of this? All these sophisticated organ structures, down to cellular, intercellular, intracellular structures. Where am I, the conscious being, Dr. So-and-so? Where am I in all of this? It's like a breakthrough, an insight. So, I am the knower, the seer, the drashta. The body is an object which is seen. I cannot be the body. Just as you see this, you cannot be this. The knower and the known are different. It's a fundamental principle in philosophy. Subject and object cannot be the same thing. Knower and the known cannot be the same thing. A thing cannot operate on itself. Just as a knife cannot cut itself, the subject cannot make itself an object. So it's an object. The body is an object. Then I, the subject, cannot be the body because it's an object. Vishyatva. Then, more subtle but very interesting, I am aware. And what am I aware of? The world? I'm aware of the body. The body is not aware of me. And I look at the hand, I am aware of the hand. The hand is not aware of me. The hand is not aware of itself. The hand is not aware of anything. And it's not aware of me. I am aware of the hand. You say, so? But then you extend it. I am aware of the entire body, just like I am aware of the hand, I am aware of every part of the body. So I am aware, the body is not aware. Aware, not aware. Chetana, jada in Sanskrit. Sentient, not sentient. They cannot literally be the same thing. So, because of these reasons, these arguments, we argue that I am not the body. I, this person, this sentient being, I consider the body because it's changing and I feel I am the unchanging one. Changing, unchanging cannot be the same thing. Savikara, nirvikara. Savikara with change. Nirvikara without change. They cannot be the same thing. Further, drishya and drashta, seer and seen, subject and object, cannot literally be the same thing. I am here. You are also there in the body. I am not denying that. But you are not literally the body. Then the third thing, chetana jada, aware, not aware. I am aware of the body, but the body is not aware of me. This Greg Good, I mentioned it earlier, he is a psychologist, a counselor working in New York. He is actually a disciple of Adishwarananda. So he told me that he was introduced to Vedanta by Adishwarananda. So he told me, and he has devised this wonderful experiment, which I've shared with Vedanta students. He puts Vedanta in his counseling sometimes. He says that experiment, look at the body, this one hand, and I'm aware of the hand is not aware of me. Then the other hand, I am aware of this hand, the hand is not aware of me. All parts of the body, that I am not, they're all I'm aware of, they are not aware of me. That experiment he did. Another one he did, I will tell you a little later. It gives you sort of, viscerally you feel, then this is a thing, I'm not literally it. Go deeper. The mind. So I'm not doing those who are Vedanta students, detailed Panchakosha analysis. There's no time for that. Mind. Alright, let's just do the prana a little bit. Breath. Breath. What is there in this body? It's a living body. So am I life itself? Prana itself. And for life we will take breath. Just as a way of turning our attention a little more subtly inwards. When I say inwards, I don't mean inside the body. Because inside the body, what will you find if you investigate the body? Take a scan, put a probe, more body. And you'll find the more icky, gooey stuff more inside the body than outside. But inward means in your experience of yourselves. In our experience of ourselves. When we look inwards, when we find, for example, something more subtle, the breath. You notice the breath. Notice it yourself. Does it change? Yes, all the time. It comes and goes. Noticing the breath, it is the foundation of Buddhist mindfulness practice. So it comes and goes. Breathing in, I am myself. I am the one who's breathing in. Breathing out, I am the one who's breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out are two different things, but I am the same one. Further, I am aware of the breath. The breath is not aware of me. So, the breath is something that is an object, I am the subject. In fact, this is the very anchor of Buddhist mindfulness. Be aware of the breath. Be aware of the in-breath, be aware of the out-breath, follow the breath. What Vedanta takes away from it is, notice you are aware. When the breath is coming in, is the breath aware of me? See, Sarvapriyananda is breathing again. Breath is telling. I am being breathed in by Sarvapriyananda. No, the breath is not aware of anything. It's a physiological process. It's prana. Further, I am aware. The breath is not aware. Subject, object, not only that. Aware, not aware. Chetana, jada. These are two alike but different arguments. Because of these reasons, I cannot be the breath. Why not? Changing, I am unchanging. Object, I am subject. I am aware, it is not aware. Breath is not aware. Therefore, I cannot be the breath. Breath is there. Go on breathing, don't stop. It's a very bad idea to stop breathing. Let it be there. Breathing is a very good idea. Let it go on. But we shall go deeper. The Upanishad says, Anyantaratma. The self. You are subtler than that. You are inner to the body, inner to the breath. Look inside further. In our own experience right now, what do you find? Thoughts, ideas, memories, images, words. This is what constitutes our inner first-person private lives. Thoughts. The mind. A broad term is applied to it. The mind. Am I the mind? And here we often stop and say, yes, that's what I wanted to say. I never said I'm a body. I never said I'm just breathing. That's silly. I am a mind in a body. I am a person. Swami, I am a person. Now I have found who I am. I am a person. I have an ego, I, and thoughts, personal history, memory, desires. This is who I am, a person. Although even the word person means a mask. No? Persona means a mask. You're not a mask. You're that which is wearing the mask. So I'm a person, a mind. But again, apply those three criterion. Does the mind change? You say, oh boy, does it change? It changes from morning to afternoon to evening. How much it changes. Moment to moment it changes. Now happy, then miserable. Now bored, then curious. Now very alert, and then sleepy. But what do I note? I was the same one who was happy, I am the same one who is now experiencing the unhappy mind. I am the same one who was experiencing alert mind, and the same one who is experiencing sleepy mind. And the same one who was experiencing bored mind, now I'm the same one who is experiencing excited mind. Mind changed, I have not changed. But you say, no, I am both excited and bored. Not at the same time, you can't be. One sadhu put it nicely, Wah, Gadhavi or Ghodavi. You're both at the same time, donkey and horse. No. Not only that, let's go deeper. The mind is an object. Here is where Vedanta, Sankhya, Yoga go further ahead than modern consciousness studies in psychology. They see a difference between awareness and mind, consciousness and mind. This consciousness-mind distinction is not clearly recognized in modern consciousness studies. Modern psychology, consciousness studies, cognitive science, they do not clearly make a distinction between consciousness and mind. I think this distinction needs to be learned. So, I am aware of the contents of my mind. Not only mind changes, but you are aware of the contents of your mind. You are the subject, the mind is an object. Aren't you aware of the contents of your mind? When you are miserable, don't you experience misery? Yes. When you are remembering something, suppose you fail, we have this what is called tip of the tongue. I'm remembering, but I just can't remember. Isn't it a particular experience? Can you not experience memory and the failure of memory also? Even my own sense of ego, I, that also I experience. I feel I experience it. Then, further, very interesting, I am conscious, mind is not conscious. At this point, people will rebel. This is completely against modern consciousness study. They have not gone that far yet. If you ask a consciousness studies expert, what is it that you study? They will say thought, perception, memory, but those are all mind. I am conscious, mind is not conscious. Prove it. Very easy, very easy. Just think a thought. Just think a thought. So Swamiji, very difficult. When you tell it to think a thought, no thought. Mind is very mischievous. You try to calm it down, so many thoughts will come. You tell the mind, please think a thought. Swami Sarvapriyananda just asked, give us home task. Think a thought. No thought. Very mischievous. So if no thought is there, let that be the object of your awareness. No thought. Now, so, or if you have a thought, something like ABCD, just now you can think in your mind, ABCD. You are aware of ABCD, right now? ABCD is not aware of you. You say, of course not. ABCD is just like mental talk. Isn't it just like mental talk? ABCD, think to yourself, just words, just talking to yourself. That ABCD is not aware of you, that ABCD is not aware of anything else, it's not even aware of itself. You are the one who is aware of that ABCD. You are aware of yourself and you are aware of that ABCD. Try it now. You are aware, even the mind is not aware. Let us go deeper. Here I will bring in great goods very interesting experiment. We will try it. One of the crucial component of the mind is, in Vedanta it's called the aham padartha or ahamartha padartha, the ego. That's the last place we can identify ourselves, I. This vague, fleeting sense of ego, I. Shankaracharya sings, Manovadya hankara chittani naham. I'm not mind, I'm not the intellect, I'm not the memory. Not mind, not intellect, not memory, those we can understand. Why not? We can give the answers right now. They are changing, I am unchanging. They are an object, I am the subject. They are not aware, I am aware. So I am not on any of them. But why should I say I am not I? The ego. Ahankara naham, Shankaracharya says. Well, how can I say that? Here is where Greg Good's very nice experiment. It's direct experience you get. Let's try this. He says that try to locate your sense of I. You feel I exist, I am. Now locate it. Divide your body, mentally draw a line parallel to the ground through your waist, right? Parallel to the ground. So below the waist, above the waist. Where do you feel, actually in your experience, where do we feel sense of I? If I am forced, I will tell you to force you to locate, where exactly, which would you choose? Most of us, we would choose above the belt, above the waist. I am here, those are my legs, generally we feel like that, if I am forced to say. Now Greg Good says, you draw a line parallel through your chest here, like this, one line. Now I will force you to say, choose one below this line, the chest level, or above the chest level. Where do you feel your sense of I? And we will say above. I am somewhere here. Some will say chest, or some will say head. I am above. Generally, no, I am not in the tummy or in my knees. Or if knee pain is there, then you feel I am in the knees. So, where? Then Great Good says, another line through the neck, mentally you draw. Where am I? Where do I feel the I? Here or somewhere here? Some might say here, but let us say, many people will say somewhere here in the face. Very natural, because the face has so many sense organs. It's very sensitive. Eyes are there, ears are there, tongue is there, lips, the whole skin, nose is there. So all the sense organs, enormous amount of nerve endings are there. So it's very natural that we feel a kind of location in the head. So I am here somewhere. My sense of I is here. Where am I? I am here somewhere. And then he says, bifurcate mentally, trifurcate the head. One line like this, one line like this. So one part is here, one part is here, one is here. In all these three, locate your I. Am I here somewhere, or here, or somewhere here? And we will say, if you force me, I will say I am somewhere here, in this place. Some will say behind the eyes, just behind the eyes. Some will say here somewhere. I am comfortable trying to locate my ego somewhere here, if you force. I think most of us, we understand that. I am locating the ego here. Suppose, let us do this meditation. I am here. Now listen carefully. I feel myself here. What is it that feels the I here? I am here. But what is it that is feeling this I here? What is this I appearing? Ego. To what is it appearing? That one is the real you, isn't it? I am not an object. Even the I becomes an object. The ego becomes an object to something. That something is aware. The ego is not aware. That something never changes. The ego keeps changing. How does the ego change? Sometimes it's there. In deep sleep it's not there. In deep focus, sometimes our sense of I also goes away. When you're very focused on something. So ego comes and goes. Ego flickers. But awareness is always there. Why are we calling it awareness? Because it's giving us all these experiences. It's always there. From that perspective, Shankaracharya sings, Ahankara na aham. Manobuddhya ahankara chittani na aham. I am not the mind, I am not the ego, I am not the memory, I am not the intellect. Then what am I? I am this awareness. Even using the word this is wrong. Because everything else is a this to that awareness. Even that is even more wrong. You see how language fails here. You can't say this, you can't say that. This and that, when do you use it? This is here, pratyaksha. That is further away. What about that? Which we found out now. It's not even present immediately here, not even far away. There are words in Sanskrit, that's why Sanskrit is so powerful. There are words in Sanskrit to indicate this ultimate consciousness. They say aparoksha, even more, sakshad aparoksha. Direct, non-mediate. Mediate, paroksha. Non-mediate, aparoksha. Direct, sakshat. Direct, non-mediate consciousness. One of the disciples of Shankaracharya gives it a very precise, follow this, very precise, definition I will not say, pointer. He says, anidam chaitanyam, not this consciousness. Whatever you can label this, eliminate it. That is the witness of that consciousness. And the consciousness is the witness of that this. This, not consciousness, it's an object to consciousness. This cloth, not consciousness, an object to consciousness. This body, this. So not consciousness. This breath, not consciousness because it's this. This thought, not consciousness, it's this. This idea, Vedantic idea which Swami is teaching us, not consciousness because it's this. I, the sense of ego, I am, this is this. When you eliminate all the this, when that, the witness of all this, this is the real you. This is what is called Chaitanya, Shuddha Chaitanya, always available. Is it there now? What do you think? Doubtful? Even that doubt is shining in the light of that. If you have a doubt, Shankaracharya says, Yaevasya nirakarta tasyeva atmasa. Whoever doubts the existence of this pure consciousness, that doubt itself is shining in that pure consciousness. Otherwise you would not have the doubt. Descartes came very close to it in his project to find out what can one be certain of. The one thing one can be certain of is this one pure consciousness. Everything else appears in the light, in your light. Upanishad says, Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. That shining, everything else shines. By its light, everything here is lit up. You shining, everything else shines. By your light, everything here is lit up. Swami, don't you see that, electric light, the fluorescent light? That is shining. But is it shining? Close your eyes. Now what happened to it? To me, it's not shining anymore. Its shining is revealed the functioning of my senses. Okay, senses are there, eyes are open, light is shining, but my mind is distracted somewhere, thinking of it. I am not experiencing it. Deep sleep, neither senses are functioning, nor mind is functioning. The whole world falls silent and dark before me. Consciousness alone still shines because it reveals that. In Paroksha Anubhuti, Shankaracharya makes an amusing observation. He says, consciousness is the light of lights also. One thing that light cannot illumine is darkness. Because if it is dark and you put light, the darkness will go away. But consciousness is that which illumines light and darkness. Suppose it's very dark, how do you know? By your consciousness. Suppose nothing is experienced, how do you know? By your consciousness. Consciousness illumines the presence of light and the absence of light also. But light cannot illumine the absence of light. The moment you bring in light, darkness is gone. A funny story of in India village. So the master of the house told the servant, here's a lantern, go and put it where it is dark. After some time, the servant came back and said with the lantern, sorry sir, nowhere is dark. Wherever I go, there is no darkness. Obviously, when you take the light. But consciousness reveals darkness also. That one awareness, that shining, everything else shines. You shining, everything else shines. Tell me, isn't it because you are this awareness that you are able to see on everything? Isn't it because you are this awareness, you are able to have the experience of hearing what I am saying right now? Isn't it because you are this awareness, you are able to have the sense of a body now? Right now? Because you have the awareness. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the sense of the body. Isn't it because we are this awareness, we have the sense of happiness in the mind. We have the sense of suffering in the mind also. All our dukkha, so-called dukkha, is also because we are consciousness. Not that consciousness is giving us dukkha. Because of consciousness, we are aware of dukkha. What do the doctors do when they want to spare you pain? Anesthesia. Will they knock out consciousness altogether? They think they have made you unconscious. But actually, Vedanta will say they have only removed the object of consciousness. They have blocked your perception of pain. You are aware. And even in, and this is a controversial point, but Vedanta will say even in deep anesthesia, awareness is still there. You are not aware of yourself as a person anymore. It's completely blank. But that blankness is also an experience. It is deep sleep, anesthesia, coma. It is not an absence of awareness. It is an awareness of absence. Advaita Vedanta sees it that way. So I am that one light. Kena Upanishad starts with this question. Keneshitam padati preshitam mana kena prana prathama prayiti yukta keneshitam vachamimam vadanti chakshu shrotram kaudeva yunakti. Because of what bright light, what bright being, Devata, are you able to see? Are the eyes able to see? Are the ears able to hear? Are we able to form our thoughts and talk? Our thoughts forming, ideas forming in our mind, all of this is that one light which you are. This is called Sakshi, witness consciousness, Chaitanya, Atma, Bodha, Samvit. It's here now, and it is the reason because of which we have life itself. Otherwise, everything would go blank, Jagadandhya Prasanga. The entire universe would go dark for us if we did not have this consciousness. Now, this is the meaning of Tvam, you, I. Right now, all the time, whether we know it or we do not know it, we are that. One sadhu in the Himalayas would say once in a while, laugh at us and say, he was this Punjabi sadhu, huge man, 80 plus years old, grossly overweight. And one doctor came, we had some illness, and doctor came and asked him, I'll tell you in Hindi and translate, Mahatma ji, kya khate hain, itne mote ho gaye hain? What do you eat? You have become so fat. And the old sadhu, the story is that the doctor was very skinny. The sadhu said, मैं अपना चिंता को चबा जाता हूँ. I take fast food, unhealthy food. What is it that all my attentions, my miseries, anxieties, I eat it all up. Fast food, unhealthy food. So I eat it all up, like street food. और चिंता तुम्हें चबा जाती है, doctor. Your anxieties are eating you up. Oh doctor, because you have become so skinny and dyspeptic. I eat up all my anxieties. That's why I have become. So that sadhu would often tell us, I and another friend of mine from the Ramakrishna mission, we used to go and study Ashtavakra. He would look at us and smile and say, Tum jano ya na jano, tum mano ya na mano, tum hi Ram. You know it or you don't know it. You accept it or you don't accept it. You are Rama. You are one with God. What is that Rama? This pure consciousness. This pure consciousness, witness consciousness, can it be sick? Or is it aware of the sickness in the body? Can it be sick? What do you think? No. Can it explain? Can it be happy or miserable? No. It illumines happiness and misery. It illumines the sickness in the body. Can it come and go? No. Because it illustrates all comings and goings. Is it always there? Always shining? Sometimes more, sometimes less. Some are a little doubtful. Swami, after a cup of coffee, more shining. No, Vedanta says that's the mind. Mind becomes more alert when you are healthy, when you have had a cup of coffee, when you have a good night's sleep. Then it becomes tired and sleepy. That's the mind. Sleepy mind, same consciousness reveals. Consciousness not sleepy. Alert mind, excited mind, healthy body, Sick body, same consciousness reveals. Body is not excited or alert or healthy, or consciousness is not healthy or sick. Same consciousness reveals. Now, I've got one more step to take. This is the meaning of Tat Tvam Asi, this is the meaning of Tvam. You are, what I am. But what is this Tat, that you are? So the way I'm taking it is a little unorthodox. The orthodox way was, it will be Lakshana and Bhyagatya, so many things are there, those who have done Vedanta. Now in the next, I've got 2 minutes left. To do what? To make this entire universe disappear. Whole universe, I have to make it disappear. Into what? Into you, that pure consciousness. 2 minutes. Here goes. This entire universe, this physical universe out there, you know what it is like? Gaudapada Acharya, Shankaracharya's guru's guru. So the sadhus in Uttarakhand, they have a very nice way of describing. Gaudapada was, once sadhu was telling me difference between Gaudapada and Shankara. Really is no difference, but in an attitude. This is a Shankaracharya, to Jagat Guru the na. Shankaracharya was a guru for the whole world, so he had to take everybody along with them. And I said, if Shankaracharya Jagat Guru, what about Gaudapada, Shankara's Guru's Guru? Their word is, wo bahut pakkad mahatma the. Their idea, that means a very desperate kind of person, who is absolutely no compromise, no prisoners taken, completely committed non-dualist. So he says in the Mandukya Karika, 2nd chapter, he says, imagine a dream. In the dream, you see people, you see trees and sky and earth and plants and dogs, and you see your own body. You even have thoughts. You even have actions in the dream. When you wake up, you realize the sky and the earth. The sky was your mind, the dreaming mind. The dreaming mind became the sky. Dreaming mind appeared as the earth. The dreaming mind appeared as everybody in the dream. The mind itself appeared as this body. The mind itself appeared as a mind in the dream. And all of this is not theory. Everybody knows this when they wake up. He says, so, now Gaudapada says, here in this life itself, right now, not mind, consciousness, that Chaitanya which we experience now, we located now, I am that. That one is appearing as its object. The thoughts which appear in consciousness are not separate from consciousness. He says, Swami, didn't you just separate? Subject, object, not the same. Conscious, not the same. Here is a little secret, little trick I played upon you. So one sadhu put it very beautifully. Drashta to drishya se alag hai. Kabhi socha hai, drishya kya drashta se alag hai? It is true that the drishya, object is separate. You are separate from the object. You are the witness. But is the object separate from you? You, the dreamer, are separate from everything in the dream. But everything in the dream, are they separate from you? They are not. You see, if one thing is separate from the other should be separate. This water is separate from the mobile phone. So mobile phone is also separate from the water bottle. Is it like this? Or is it like water and wave? Or this podium and wood? Wood is separate from the podium. How? It was wood earlier, before it became a podium. If you break it, it will still be wood. But podium is not separate from the wood. It is the wood itself appearing with a name and form. Nama Rupa Vyavahara, we call it the podium. Similarly, the conclusion is, what is the relationship of the drishya with you, the drashta consciousness? It is you appearing in all those forms. You alone. Can you demonstrate logically? So far, Swami, your demonstration was pretty good. Logical, psychological, based on experience. Now your standards are slipping. Are you stipulating the universe is nothing but consciousness? I'll give you a 7-stage reduction. We'll take it up in the next talk, next week. But just think about it. 7 stages of reducing the world, making the world disappear. Reducing the world into you, the consciousness. Which consciousness? Which we have all located and we understand. I am that. Start with the word. Here, solid. Solid. Start with word. It is called Jagat. Now this world is nothing but matter, energy, time and space. Or according to the ancient cosmology, Pancha Bhuta Vilasa, the play of 5 elements. No physicist will dispute it. No modern scientist will dispute it. Time, space, matter, energy. Okay. Next step is, of course, Vedantic. Science may not, or coming close to it. Third step, Panchabhuta, time, space, matter, energy. If you investigate it, you will end up with paradox, as it is beginning to happen. Vedanta calls it Maya Vilasa, the play of Maya. No time to go into it, we'll take it up later next time. Maya Vilasa. Then the fourth step, this Maya is nothing other than Brahman, according to Vedanta. Maya is the power of Brahman, like fire's power is to burn or to give illumination. Maya is the power of Brahman. So the play of Maya is nothing other than the play of Brahman. Consciousness. Chid Vilasa. Chid Vilasa, whole of Kashmiri Shaivism is here. The play of consciousness. In fact, the Guru, his name is Chid Vilasananda. The Chid Vilasa, the play of consciousness. But then Vedanta asks a question. We are very irritating people. We can't let go of logic. Can consciousness play? You answer by looking at yourself. That witness consciousness. Can it do anything except shine? Can it play with a soccer ball outside? No. For that it needs a body and mind and all that. So consciousness does not play. What does it do? It appears. So Chid, not Chid Vilasa, Chid Vivarta, the appearance of consciousness. But what consciousness appears as, every bit of it is pervaded by consciousness. Chinmaya, pervaded by consciousness. But consciousness pervades everything how? In your dreams, your mind appears as the entire dream world. So I can say your mind pervades the dream world. But how does your mind pervade the dream world? Is it a world is already there and then your mind goes and starts filling up everything there? Or the mind itself appears as the dream world? The mind itself appears as the dream world. It's not like this hall, where there's a hall is there, it's dark, switch on the light, light will pervade the room. Not like that. That will lead to Sankhya. So Chinmaya, pervading everything. But how? As nothing but consciousness. Consciousness alone is appearing as this universe. So the seventh one is Chinmatra, consciousness alone. You say, oh great, what is that consciousness alone? You, Tat Tvam Asi. Thank you very much. Thank you.